Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase, pricing, and availability questions concerning this watch. Today, we discuss a 2025 launch from TAG Heuer. This is the TAG Heuer Carrera Extreme Sport Chronograph Twin Time in Titanium. So this model is a dual-time chronograph. It is made of grade 2 titanium. It has a bicolor ceramic bezel, which is a new breakthrough for TAG Heuer. Yes, Rolex has been doing this for a few years, but TAG Heuer also represents a different value proposition than Rolex prices. This watch, I would even add, from the Department of Unpopular Opinions, gives you most of the fun, the wrist presence, and the tech appeal of something like a Royal Oak Offshore for a lot less money. So let's talk about fit. It is an extreme, which means it's bigger. So it's 44 millimeters in diameter. It's 16.9 millimeters thick from lug tip to lug tip. It is 49.8 millimeters, and you can see that it's a little bit of an unconventional lug junction. So just keep that in mind. You're probably going to need something proprietary rather than a standard-sized strap, but TAG Heuer has several different strap options. Now you throw it on my wrist, which is 16 centimeters circumference. You could see the fit. What you can't see is the feel. It's very light, being made primarily of rubber, sapphire, and titanium. It is an extremely light watch. Taking a look at it, you can see in profile, the lugs are out to the edge of my wrist, so I would say this is good for wrists my size and larger, not smaller than my wrists. Otherwise, you're going to want to go with a smaller Carrera, but they do have 39s and other sizes that'll work just fine. You do get a lot for your size, though, as this has a date, 2 time zones, a chronograph, automatic winding, 100-meter water resistance, and an 80-hour power reserve. Now, taking a look at the strap itself, I mentioned it is a proprietary design, and everything from the way it actually expands around the shoulders of the lugs to the way it curves around the centerpiece, this is going to be something, actually has a little, almost like a NACA design right there, quite sporty, but this is going to be something you're going to want to get from TAG Heuer if you wish to accessorize or change the strap. The case is all brushed. It's grade 2 titanium, so it's very light and hypoallergenic. You can see on the bottom of the strap we have a little TAG Heuer logo, as well as a few beaded profiles that I guess are designed to help it better adhere to your wrist. It can be cut to length, so there are some pre-scored sections on both sides that allow for that sizing. That said, there is a push-button incremental sizing slider, so even then you do have some on-the-fly adjustability even after you commit to cutting the strap, and we'll cut that for you so it fits perfectly. You can see it's a single fold TAG Heuer logo. We've got here satin. We've also got media blast. Twin trigger release, so you have to press both of those for this to open. It can't fly open, and one trigger is not enough, so it's quite secure. We have this grill-like design along with a sort of chiseled aesthetic in gray and black along the profile, sort of a granular texture, if you will. We have 2 pump-style pushers. Note the use of alternating satin and polish. That looks great. Double row knurling on the crown. And the crown has a very thin green lacquer down its center, which is great attention to detail. We have scratch-resistant ceramic for the bezel, and I'm going to opine that because of the height of this bezel, if you do knock it into a wall or a seatbelt buckle or a doorknob, it's probably going to be the sapphire or the ceramic that touches, and those are very highly scratch-resistant surfaces, so this almost has like a heat shield to protect it from scratches. The dial is skeletonized, and at first glance it appears a bit chaotic, though it becomes easy to read when you look at it a little longer. So we have the date down at the bottom. We have 2 time zones. This is the 24-hour hand, independent from the 12-hour local hand. And then we have the chronograph, which includes running seconds down at the base, chronograph minutes, and then chronograph hours. You can see green accents have been added liberally, including the skeletonized date disc, elements of the dial too, including the seconds hand, as well as the tips of chronograph minutes and hours. The watch does include a hacking seconds function, so you can stop everything. It also includes a function that allows you to quick set the date. And then in the opposite direction, you can adjust the local hour hand. And that's in the intermediate position like that. Vertical clutch chronograph, so when you engage it without any jump or stagger. It's a seamless engagement, not a toothed engagement, so the chronograph seconds hand simply jumps into action without leaping a second or two as a lateral clutch can. It's also the reason you can leave this watch with chronograph running with no additional wear and tear. Vertical clutch means you're good to go. You can see there's excellent depth to the dial and a number of different metallic finishes, as well as the use of a sort of blackened lacquer on a frosted or chiseled subtexture that's very similar to what you see on the profile of the watch. So these little nuances are quite appealing and well considered. The dial's also nicely balanced, which reduces the perception of chaos. We'll do a lume shot now. And you can see it's actually quite well lumed with a little luminescent panel underneath the date, so you can read that too in the dark. On the back, we have a version of the TH20. This is the TH2002. And it's a automatic winder with an 80-hour power reserve, 4 Hertz beat rate, 32 joules. Column wheel vertical clutch. It uses Edicron for primary timing and beat error correction, and then there's an eccentric screw regulator for very fine timing adjustments, and it's a nice size to fit this case. It looks good. 80-hour power reserve, and thus it is impressively endowed, a little bit above the industry standard of 70. You can see the column wheel is visible. It has been graced with some green accents to match the aesthetic of the watch. You can see on the back, it mentions TAG Heuer 100 meters, that this is the famed Carrera model, and we do have a little bit of an adaptation of the famed angular Carrera lugs that are unique to this model, so it's distinctive. It's part of the lineage, but it also makes an original statement. Reach out to Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase and pricing details.